Hey subscribers, welcome to a review of Season 5, Battle 16 I think it is, between Sisters of Battle and the Alpha Legion. Look, I'm not really sure what battle it is because it's been like months between battles because I've been constantly editing. I just break my time down between editing and filming, but I'm just doing this video right now, and at this stage I've taped the first half of the introduction. And at this stage I don't know who's going to win the battle. I've just basically laid it out on the board. So here's what we have at the moment. Like I said, we've just done the introduction, and Yaz and Mitch and the rest of the gang, apart from Joe, have made their way into this shrine in North Ward. And it's a base of Sisters of Battle. Like a little refuge that they've got, and along come the Inquisitors, who have just come from torturing Yaz, trying to get some information regarding the relic. I haven't actually edited all that part of it just yet, but I'll flesh the storyline out in more detail. So along these guys come, and surprise, surprise, they may not be the best behaved Inquisitors because they've aligned themselves with the Alpha Legion, and the Alpha Legion are really here for to try and repossess their SS Harlock, which was stolen from them a long time ago. Don't know if you can see that there, but it's got the Alpha Legion stamp on the side. Anyway, so they've come to collect their transport back, which Mitch and co aren't really happy about. But anyway, they've got no choice at the moment. They're holed up in North Ward, and they're basically trying to repel the Alpha Legion in this battle. So there will be extra parts of this battle that I'll expand on the storyline, so don't hold me to what I say. But really we've got some Sisters of Battle along this side, and some Sisters of Silence as well, just there. And over at the other side we've got Chaos Space Marines of the Alpha Legion variety, a Chaos Demon character which we'll deal with later. I haven't actually worked out what he's going to be at this stage, but we'll work on that. And there's not much over that side, but we do have in reserve 3 units of Terminators for the Alpha Legion. So it looks pretty heavily weighted at the moment on the board for the Sisters of Battle, but once you bring the Terminators out, it evens it up a fair bit. So there we have it. That's the deployment for this battle between the Sisters of Battle and the Alpha Legion. We'll see what happens in turn 1 in a minute. End of turn 1 for the Alpha Legion, and we've had 2 units of Marines advance across the board just from back here, and these heavy weapon Marines here take a position on this ruined wall section here, ready to take out some tanks as they advance across the board. We had this Demon Prince. I haven't worked out what he is just yet, his name, but he's taken a position inside this set of ruins here. They're fairly safe because there's not a lot of weaponry that can hit him. This whirlwind here can't really get a good shot at him from that angle over there. We had this unit of Marines advance across the board, taking a position behind this church here. We had the Marines there as well move forward, and some plasma fire that this whirlwind just here didn't take it out, but look, it's taken some damage. So it's the Sisters of Battle having their turn next, and we've also got quite a few deep striking units ready to come in shortly. So that's the end of the first half of turn 1. Hey subscribers, here we are at the end of turn 1 for the Sisters of Battle. I've had to change the camera that I do this with, now using a Canon G16. We'll see how that rolls out. Let's have a look at the table. We've seen not a lot of firing go on at this stage. We've had these tanks move up into a position. There's not a lot of cover on the board either, I should say. Just up here we had some exorcist fire from there, those organ things, into the advancing Alpha Legion over that side. We had the Inquisitor Dreadnought thingy, I can't pronounce his name, which starts with K. Anyway, he tried to take out the Chaos Demon just there. Over this side of the board, really everyone just advanced. We had the Saint try and move around this side of the board, was over hiding in under here. Didn't want to sort of get exposed to some of that fire over there. So it came round here along with the Sisters of Silence and a couple of other tanks that really couldn't get into a position to fire. They're looking a little bit exposed with some heavy weapons fire that could come their way. But look, that's about as good as they can get at this stage. All the actual characters of the battle, like Yars, hiding away inside the shrine here. And we've got Mitch over this side of the board. And, you know, there's the relic. So there's a storyline which is obviously going to go around that. So that's really what we have at this stage. There was some missile fire from the back of the board here, which really didn't take out a lot. We've only had one casualty at this stage. I'm trying to find out where he is. It's one Marine. There he is up here. Our sole casualty at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to see how this video turns out because I've just changed cameras. It seems to look good on the display on my screen here. We'll see how it pans out. Anyway, turn 2 coming up shortly. Here we are at the end of the first half of turn 2 for the Alpha Legion, and we've seen a fair bit of deep striking going on. We've seen some Terminators touch down here and try and take out some Sisters of Silence there, but these guys are really armed with lightning claws like a lot of the other deep striking Terminators. These guys here and these guys here. I don't know how you like it with the camera shots. I've just changed cameras in the last couple of turns, so it looks good on the screen here, but let me know how it looks compared to previous videos. We had some movement from some Marines here and try and take out some of these tanks. These tanks took a pummeling, but none of them actually got taken out. There was fire from here. There's some fire from here, trying to take out this tank. We had some plasma fire taking out a couple of Sisters just here. Focus, thank you. And we had some movement of that group of Marines there and took a few shots at the Inquisitor just there. Over this side of the board, we saw these deep striking Terminators, like I say, taking out those, trying to take out the Sisters there. This group of Marines advanced across the board and really didn't take out anything at all. We had this Demon Prince called Bull or something. Starts with B. My demon isn't so good. It's marginally worse than my English. Anyway, we had some fire for some heavy weapon, some missile launchers firing in, and really should have taken out these tanks here, this tank here, but really didn't do that. So it's on its last legs, so no doubt these tanks are going to get popped open in the next couple of turns, but really it's pretty underwhelming this turn. These are the casualties so far. We're at the end of first half of turn 2. We've got one casualty there and 2 over there. That's it. Surely there's got to be some bloodshed soon. Anyway, Second half of turn 2 coming up soon. Here we are at the end of the second half of turn 2, and the Sisters of Battle have had their turn. Here we had a group of Sisters of Silence just initially take a position there and fire and take out one Terminator just there. We had this group here of sisters wearing shields and different melee weapons. They couldn't quite make it into combat just here, but they moved in from just beside this tank just here. That tank there just took a shot right there and took out one Space Marine just sitting over that side. Here a tank had a shot at that Demon Prince just there, which starts with B, but I can't pronounce the name, as I said before. Nothing else on this side. Inside this building here, we've got Yars and all the various characters, but they're not really doing anything in this battle, much like the Inquisitor behind that building just there. Over this side we had some whirlwind fire from here, and it actually took out that tank that was up there. Now it's here. There's also the Exorcist fire there coming from there, which contributed to the demise of that tank just there. Here we had some sisters looking there and just took out one Terminator that was hiding back there. Pentanet engines just raging across the board there, not really doing any damage at this stage, and one Space Marine was taken out over this side of the board. So there you have it. Oh no, we've got one more. We had the Inquisitor, can't say his name again, starts with a K, but he had a shot at this demon as well. Didn't take it out, but he's got some melter weaponry on the side there, so obviously caused some damage. So there we have it. That's the end of turn 2. Turn 3 coming up shortly. Hey subscribers, it's been about a week since we've done the last turn up here. We're actually at the end of the first half of turn 3 for the Alpha Legion. What I've been doing over the last few weeks is actually working on the start of season 6, which is pretty exciting. I'll normally go away for a week or so around Christmas time to plan out the next season, but I've got some ideas for season 6 which I really can't let too much out at the moment, but it's going to be partially the same format as what we've got in season 5, but there's kind of like a major change which I'm looking forward to talking about, but it still might be towards the end of this year before I let more of that out. Sorry about giving a bit of a teaser there, but pretty excited about it. Anyway, back onto the battle. We've had the Alpha Legion have their turn. We had some missile launcher Marines here move from this position here just closer here to get a few more potential units in range, like the Inquisitor up there and some units on the other side of the board. Over this side we had Terminators, Lightning Claws. They took out one of those tanks which was there, so they're just carving up the board at the moment. Space Marine Bolter Fire just on the front armour of that vehicle there, not really taking any damage. And we had the Demon fire some lightning or something. I'm really not sure what the effect of that's going to be just yet, but it's still alive at the moment as far as that tank goes. Anyway, over this side we've had the Lightning Claws, more Lightning Claws Terminators come and advance into that unit armed with various shields and melee weapons. Pretty evenly matched at this stage. Over this side of the board we had this unit of Terminators take out another tank that was there, and we had the combined fire of this unit and this unit take out one Pentanet engine, which that pretty much sums up what's happened this half turn. So I'd say at this stage it's fairly evenly weighted. Probably the Alpha Legion have got the upper hand. They pretty solidly control this side of the board, and the other side is looking fairly contested at this stage. So we'll wait and see what happens in the second half of turn 3, coming up soon. Second half of turn 3, and the Sisters of Battle have taken a fair chunk out of the Alpha Legion. Here's the casualties up here, all that except for the foam. Anyway, so over here we had the Saint Celestine, however you say that name, come in and reinforce this battle melee here against the Terminators, and it's looking fairly even at this stage. Over this side we had the Sisters of Silence come and actually shoot and take out the demon Bellicor. Can't remember his name, but anyway, he's gone. And we had some road rage going on here from the truck, went ploughing through these Marines here, took out that tower there, and is just sitting immobile just there at this stage. Did take out one guy, he did run over on the way through. That's it on that side of the board. Over here we had some whirlwind rocket launchers fire into what was a unit of Marines over this side. The Inquisitor and a Pentanet engine came in and tried to do some melee against those Space Marines there, and look, the only things that remain are 2 Space Marines and the Inquisitor. Over this side we had a group of Sisters try and take out some Terminators, except they're hiding behind this giant big rock here and can't really see anything. Should have probably gone for those guys, but these guys looked more of a threat over here. Anyway, we also had some fire from the Exorcist, which did manage to take out one Terminator. So there we have it. Looks like the Sisters of Battle are starting to get the upper hand because they've got some pretty heavy armour here. We'll wait and see what happens in turn 4, coming up soon. Here we are at the end of the first half of turn 4, and the Alpha Legion have really made a mess of the Sisters here. We had rocket launcher activity, taking out the tank that had previously busted that tower there. That didn't last real long. These Marines here turned around and laid fire into the Sisters of Silence over there, taking out 3 with the combined bolter fire and assorted weaponry there. Lightning Claw Terminators couldn't really do too much. They moved from back here and moved up closer to combat. Over here this battle continues to rage. We've only got 1 Terminator left, but look, it's looking fairly evenly weighted, except for these advancing Terminators here. Over this side of the board, these Terminators, there was 2 there, and they were hiding behind this rock here. They came out and assaulted and took out a whole swathe of Sisters there, but that's still ongoing. And we had this group of Marines move from back here up to here, taking a position behind this rock here, because really there's still a lot of heavy weaponry in the background here that can cause a lot of damage. There was a combat up to here between the Inquisitor and a couple of Marines. The Inquisitor cleaned those guys up, so that Inquisitor won that battle. So look, I suppose it's fairly evenly weighted. It's the first half of turn 4. We'll see what happens next turn. Here we are at the end of the second half of turn 4, with the Sisters of Battle have really not really accomplished a lot. They're the casualties for the turn. I'll run through it on the board here. So we had the Inquisitor, who had previously cleaned up a squad of Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, just over here. Move into this position behind this tower here, Fallen Tower, which is pretty solid protection really, given that there's rocket launcher dudes just hanging here ready to fire at him. So it's a pretty good move, tucking yourself behind that, and fired into this unit over here and took out 1 casualty there. So over this side we had the remaining Sisters of Silence moved from here, charging into combat to reinforce that. There was one Terminator left there, and they cleaned those guys out. So even though they won that combat, looks pretty threatening, seeing some Terminators there and also Space Marines there. Wait and see how that turns out. Had the Whirlwind, not seeing any targets over this side of the board. Couldn't really get a shot at those guys behind that rock over there. Decided to move behind the church here and just take a position just here. Over this side, the Exorcist fire took out one guy. Again, fair bit of cover offered by the rock face there. There was a combat between this unit here and a solitary Terminator, and the Terminator finally fell down. So overall it looks fairly evenly balanced, but we've got a few things that are going to happen next turn. One is we've got these guys here, probably assault those guys. Over this side of the board, again, this unit here is going to get assaulted by that and take fire from those guys, so those guys could pretty much be toast. I don't know what these guys are going to do. They probably won't get much chance to shoot the Inquisitor there, but if they do, it could be all over. But anyway, we've got the first half of turn 5 coming up shortly. Here we are at the end of the first half of turn 5. The Alpha Legion. They try to take out this Inquisitor over there with some rocket launcher fire here and bolter fire. Both failed to take it out. It's entrenched behind some fairly heavy cover just there. So, a bit of a failure there. Over this side, we had some Terminators continue a battle over here, and it was fairly evenly weighted at this stage, probably Terminators with the upper hand. Moving over this side, we had the Alpha Legion charge from behind that rock there and come out and take out two Sisters of Battle. So they're pretty well positioned to either die by Exorcist or take it out, one or the other. So there we have it. Looks pretty well positioned in favour of the Alpha Legion, to be honest, unless the Inquisitor can do something from over there. But we'll wait and see. Second half of turn 5 coming up soon. Second half of turn 5, and we don't have a lot left on the table at this stage. We had Inquisitor Karamov. Don't know, it starts with a K, ends with a V, can't pronounce it, but there you go. He charged from there, took out a group of Marines there after they were fired upon by the Whirlwind. So they're gone, but he's hugely exposed there to lots of missile launcher fire. Wait and see how that pans out. Over here, these guys just keep slugging it out. Battle just hasn't ended. Two Terminators, we've got the Saint and a Sister of Silence sitting there, duking it out. Anyway, over this side, we had the Exorcist shimmy back a little bit, fire, and took out one guy. So that's looking fairly exposed there. Alright, we've got turn 6 coming up shortly. I really would have my money, I suppose, at this stage on the Alpha Legion, given that he's probably toast and that's probably gone. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Turn 6 coming up soon. First half of turn 6, and we've seen the Exorcist finally go after being assaulted by the last remaining Marines on this side of the board. We've also had this ongoing melee here, and there's only the Saint and one Terminator left after basically duking it out. Over this side of the board, we did have the heavy weapons take out the Inquisitor there, so really there's not a lot left on the board. We've only got half of turn 6 to go, the second half. We've got the bad Inquisitor. There's no bad Inquisitors. There's an Inquisitor behind this church here. That's going to be a storyline element once we finish the battle. And also we've got Yaz and Mitch and everyone else left in the church here. And there's the cloaked SS Harlock somewhere on the board somewhere. So that's going to be the storyline element once the battle concludes. Last half of turn 6 coming up shortly. There we have it, that's the end of turn 6 and that's the end of the battle. So we had the Sisters of Battle have their turn. We had a melee between a Terminator and a Saint there, and the Terminator was the casualty, so we had a victory on that particular skirmish. The Whirlwind shot one guy that was standing there, that's all. Anyway, could have done a lot of damage and probably won the battle on that shot, but we've ended up with a victory to the Alpha Legion with these 2 units available, and over here we've just got the remnants of one tank and the Saint there. So at this stage I will go and do the storyline elements. I'll bring the Inquisitor out from behind there and work out what to do with Yaz here. I've already got the next battle planned out. I can't give away too many spoilers. That's next week's video, so stay tuned for next week and you'll see what the next battle's all about. Thanks for watching. Cheers.